public. And what I mean by taking the battle to the public, you just go out to the public, upright, independent, and fearless, and represent what you stand for as a group, tribe, family, nation of people. And that's what we did on Saturday. So I'm gonna attempt to try to screen share some of this. Now, some of y'all might have seen it, but if you did, so what? See it again. Because we know in the Moorish Science Temple of America, you might read the Quran of the Moorish Science Temple of America today and read the same exact chapter tomorrow and get something else from it. So what I'm going to attempt to do right now, let me see if I can do it. I'm going to try to screen share this. Let me see if I can do it. I'm going to attempt to screen share this and try to get my brother right here. Here you go. See if we can get it. And let's go.
Islam on. Everyone did not acquiesce to the slave marks of Negro, Black, and Colored. When you hear about those so-called Indian wars, those were wars that were fought between Moors and the Europeans. And we give honor to those who would not give up, those who wouldn't forfeit for the sake of themselves and for the sake of their families. We give honor. So every year, brothers and sisters, rain or shine, we are out here on Moorish American Remembrance Day, giving honor to our ancestors, giving honors to the Prophet Noble Trolley, because without the Prophet, we would not know. Now, in the online era, on the YouTube era, everybody got a YouTube video, everybody know everything. But before the coming of the Prophet, we had no idea about knowledge of self. Now, everybody trying to tell us who we are. There were those who taught about nationality, such as Marcus Garvey, such as Edward Blyden, who taught nationality is the ordinance of nature. And Edward Blyden is known as the father of Pan-Africanism. So you had those who taught about nationality, but it was none other than Prophet Noble Trolley himself who taught us what our nationality was. It's not more. And we need to realize nationality is character. It is character. It is something that must be taught, lived, and practiced.
Y'all get that? Let's go again.
Islam on. Everyone did not acquiesce to the slave marks of Negro, Black, and Colored. When you hear about those so-called Indian wars, those were wars that were fought between Moors and the Europeans. And we give honor to those who would not give up, those who wouldn't forfeit for the sake of themselves and for the sake of their families. We give honor. So every year, brothers and sisters, rain or shine, we are out here on Moorish American Remembrance Day, giving honor to our ancestors, giving honors to the Prophet Noble Trolley, because without the Prophet, we would not know. Now, in the online era, on the YouTube era, everybody got a YouTube video, everybody know everything. But before the coming of the Prophet, we had no idea about knowledge of self. Now, everybody trying to tell us who we are. There were those who taught about nationality, such as Marcus Garvey, such as Edward Blyden, who taught nationality is the ordinance of nature. And Edward Blyden is known as the father of Pan-Africanism. So you had those who taught about nationality, but it was none other than Prophet Noble Trolley himself who taught us what our nationality was. It's not more. And we need to realize nationality is character. It is character. It is something that must be taught, lived, and practiced. So in the Holy Quran of the Moorish Science Temple of America, we're given tools that we utilize in the workshop of the mind when we build up what? Character. We're building character. There have a lot of people that say, well, brother, we need to come together economically. We need to do this. We need to do that. Nationality is the foundation. Without character, there is no trust. So the
Islam, family, Islam. Let me try one more. Let me try one more, because then I'm going to get to my point. Then
people get it mixed up and think, well,
I want y'all to see this one.
Slavery started in 1774? No, it's not what I'm saying. But right here in Carpenter's Hall, in 1774 is where the pen was used to write you out of history as far as taking your nationality from you.
That's right.
Because you cannot be considered a human, a person, without a nationality.
Right. That's right.
So many people think that this country.
Islam family, I want y'all to really listen to this brother go in on who played a major part, who had played a major part in stripping us of our nationality. Let's go.
Decided to become a country because they were fed up with taxation, with no representation, and the Boston Tea Party, that they were finally fed up. But when you do the research yourself, you will find there was a landmark case in 1772,
right,
in Britain. This case was it was called the Somerset case. Somerset was a slave. His master was named Stuart. And he took that slave back to Great Britain. And the slave Somerset used that chance he had and escaped his master. So he was found, rounded up, and the master decided to ship him off to Jamaica to be resold. But during the time that Somerset was in Great Britain, he had sympathizers to plead with his cause. So using law, there was a writ of habeas corpus that said, stop. You can't just take him and ship him somewhere else and sell him. It's like, why? He's a slave. Great Britain says, yes, he's a slave. They consider slaves a servant that had limited rights. Over here in the colonies, they didn't want slaves to have any rights as a citizen. So in order to do that, they looked at this case to see, well, how is Great Britain going to rule? Because these 13 colonies was under Great Britain.
Wow.
So whatever happens in Great Britain can come right across the water,
right,
because these are colonists of Britain.
Right.
So this case went on, decided by Lord Mansfield, and he determined that you cannot take him and resell him. In fact, because he's on British soil, they considered there was a saying that if you breathe free air, you can't be enslaved. But that goes back longer than that case, but it was still used to sum up that case. And the point being was he was set free. And the landmark case was like, wait a minute. If that gets over here and we get our lawyers to try cases like that here, we could lose our greatest asset as far as building this country. And not even looking at building this country, because again, these are 13 colonies. So that was the breaking point, not a Boston Tea Party. They said, we have to do something that will make them not be considered servants, but to make them be considered property, right? Chattel property, right? They weren't considered chattel property in what they call the motherland in Great Britain. So that's how that ruling was able to award his freedom. So here, First Continental Congress, 1774, that's when they took Negro, black, color, and yes, even African.
Yep.
People want to say, well, African isn't a slave term because that's a legitimate continent. But when you call someone an African, you are in effect stripping their nationality, because there's many nations in Africa.
That's right.
So if you see a case like the Dred Scott decision, when they say descendants of Africans, That's just the same as a slave term. And even our people like to say, you know, because we don't want to separate ourselves from our brothers and sisters. But we cannot identify with being an African because there's many nations in Africa. And to be a human, to be a citizen in any country on the face of this earth, you have to have a nationality. Right? Not name a continent with a bunch of nationalities. Right. You know, I see a lot of times you see like the Kennedy cause, and they'll say, oh, well, that's African wear. But how would you feel if somebody took a traditional garb of Canada and said, this is the garb of North America? Americans will be outraged. That's not our garb. So you can't classify a people by a continent. It's the nation that they belong to.
That's right, more.
So that breaking point was the point that made them decide we have to break away from Britain. We have to form our own country. And that's why 1774, those terms were considered marks. Right. And a lot of our people get this mixed up because in 1779, they were actual names, not just marks. Marks was the beginning. Everything is done in steps. So 1774, the marks were put up on us. 1779, they were actual names, law. But it started here, First Continental Congress. And if you wonder, well, how can they have the secret meeting without the mother country knowing? Well, they didn't go advertise, we are having the First Continental Congress. They did it under the context of calling it an Oddfellows Convention because this was done in secret. But the purpose was to actually write our nation out of history. No more Moors. Now you're Negroes. Now you're black. Now you're colors. Now you're Africans. And there were others. Just because those were named, you had coons. You had all kind of names. But these names were ones that actually became law to strip you of your nationality, to strip you of your identity, to strip you of your culture, to strip you of your religion. All that was done in one fell swoop by taking your nationality away. So you can't have someone say, why do I need a nationality? Without a nationality, how does religion get passed down from generation to generation? How does your culture get passed down from generation to generation without nationality? So it's very, very important. And anybody that thinks it's not.
Islam, fam. We're gonna go right back to that. We're gonna go right back to it in a little bit. But this is the thing. The brother is breaking down to us. Brother Hopkins Bay is breaking down to us when and where our nationality was taken. The exact spot where it was decided. See, this is the problem. This is our problem. And when I say this is our problem, the time when I subscribed to being black, this was our problem. We did not have a single place or time to identify when our condition legally took place. We did not have that. You know what we had? We had Black History Month. We had Black History Month, where in Black History Month, the only thing that we knew is that we were subjugated to hangings, to beatings, to torture, to all mistreatments that the citizens cared to bestow upon us. We was dragged by cars, hung by trees, dragged by horses. This is what Black History Month taught me. Black History Month taught me that it was a black history that was that I had. Black History Month taught me that we was huddled up in these ship holes. Black History Month taught me that we was so many of us, elbow to elbow, hip to hip, lined up in these ships, taken across the waters. As I got older, I thought about what about peeing when I had to pee? What all these hand to hand, elbow to elbow, chains? When I had to poop, go across this water with all these thousands and thousands of people, my people. So Black History Month taught me. But what more science taught me was that after all of that torture, after all of that degradation, it was put on paper and legalized for me to be considered a Negro that never exists before that trip. A black person that never exists before that trip. A colored person, an African American that never exists before that trip. It was put on the paper that this is who we are. Now, even the ones that were here that met the European at the shore, before the European came, there was no Negro. Before the European came, there was no African. Before the European came and we were standing on the shores to greet him, to help him, because he couldn't have survived without the Moors already here. There was no Negro. There was no colored person. There was no African. There was none of that. So this trek that we demonstrated in Philadelphia takes us to the place where these marks was placed upon us. And today in 2016, we still walk around with these marks and act like it's cool. Black power. Act like it's cool. We can't trace black power back. We can't trace black back. You're going to have to get mad on this one. If you subscribe to black power, you're going to have to get mad on this one. Because see, we got a family in Philadelphia that dedicated their life to show it in true, living, color, real time. What actually happened? And it happened in Philadelphia. We got a family that dedicated their life to this. Rain, snow, or shine. I'm going to put the video out. We have a family that dedicated their whole life to show you how this happened. And this time around, when they demonstrated it, how it happened, the Europeans do not validate us, but nevertheless, the European came out and they respected it. And what I mean they respected it, they were getting a lesson themselves. They got a lesson themselves. They come to see that we ain't no black people. Those who didn't know and those who did know were sitting up there giving a head nod. Wow. They were giving a head nod. I'm looking at the chat right now. You cannot trace black back to nothing. You know, this is not a religious thing. It's not a fairs thing. This is a reality check. We walk past some Chinese people. Some people apparently from China. I would guess they came speaking Qinghua, 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 whatever they would say. I don't speak Chinese, but some of my brothers that was on the track spoke Chinese, and they were just as happy. The Prophet Ali said, people love to see you waken. Europeans love to see you awaken. People love this. See, people think this is some type of religion that is going to stop you from being who you are. But little do you know, you're not being who you are when you're being outside of being a true Moorish American Muslim. But as it relates to the scientific term of what a Muslim is, one who submits his will to the will of Almighty God. Moorish American, one who traces himself back to that vast estate, that greatness. We got things to do. Y'all playing games. We got things to do. I'm sorry, Black Power, you're going to get mad today. Because like I said, we have a family that dedicated their life. We have people that travel from each corner of the United States to come to Philadelphia and to experience something real. This was no textbook type of learning here. This was no YouTube, no Facebook. No, this was boots on the ground, experiencing history in real time. And as I said, if you couldn't make it, I'm gonna try to take you there the best way I can. I see I got my brother Snow Bay. I see my brother Snow Bay came in, but he just as fire as me. My brother, how you doing, my brother Snow Bay? Welcome to the chat, my brother. Come on in, introduce yourself, my brother.
Islam, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. I hear you loud and clear, brother.
Praise Allah.
How you doing? Tell the people who you are, where you coming from. Are you Ali's man? Who are you, brother?
I ain't nobody, but I'm everybody.
That's my brother. Brother Snow Bay, let me tell you this real quick before you introduce yourself. What I'm trying to do is, I'm trying to give people what I felt this Saturday. I'm trying to just give them a glimpse into what I felt this Saturday, brother. I'm telling you, it was over 200 or more people there with fezzes and turbans, without fezzes, dreads, whatever. Few with perms, and whatever. But brother, it was such beautiful united front. It was such a beautiful united front. And not only was it the unity as it relates to we are Moorish American Muslims and those who supported the trek. Brother, there was no talk of no, what grandbody you from? What temple you go to? Who's your grandson? It was none of that. And it brought into reality where the Prophet Noble Drew Ali says, this is the uniting of the Moorish Science Temple of America. And that's what I seen displayed this Saturday. Honor to the Hopkins Bay family. Come on in, my brother.
Well, there you go. First, I'd like to rise, giving all praise to Allah, honors to his prophet. You know, it's Snow Bay, the firecracker.
Yes, sir.
I couldn't make it out there Friday. My wife was traveling, so I had to tie my camel down.
No.
But I mean, it's what it's supposed to be. You know, when you put the prophet out front, that's the only result you're gonna get. So ain't no such thing as a grand body when the prophet is involved.
Islam, absolutely. So brother, what do you see I'm pretty sure you've been on Facebook and you've seen the pictures. What did it say to you when you seen what was going on in Philadelphia? I know you was there in spirit because I know you're a Moorish American to the bone, so I know you was with us. But what did it say to you? What crossed your mind when you seen the display of the unity in Philadelphia this weekend, brother?
One prophet, one temple. we,
Yes, sir.
we all won. I mean, if because I've been to the trek back plenty of times. I'm glad it gets bigger every year, as it should. Every year to get bigger. The more people come, the better. Because what it does, just like it did this year, is it brings attention to the event, and it brings attention to the Moors. So anything that we can do in a positive light that get that kind of result, we got to keep doing it, and we got to keep making it grow every year. Every year. Next year is going to be more people.
Exactly. My thing is, my brother, is that when I begin to see a lot of people, like we just did the Marcus Garvey show, the True Origins of RBG. And there was a statement that Marcus Garvey said, a good idea is just a good idea, no matter where it comes from. It's a good idea. Why wouldn't I subscribe to a good idea? And when I see a lot of this stuff that's going on in society, I have never seen that anything under the term black solve any of our problems. Now, the people might say, hey, hold up. What have nationality solved? But I'm going to come back and say, have we really tried it yet? Have we really tried it to the full extent? See, I can show you where we tried the so-called being black to the fullest of degree. It has gotten us nowhere. But have we truly tried the powers and force of the unity as it relates to nationality? The answer is no. The answer is no. So a good idea is just a good idea. It's a great idea. Let's try it. Guess what? The whole world is ran like this. The whole world. No matter where you go, there's a tribal name, there's a nation name, there's an honor, the whole world. Land, name, principles, customs, culture, tradition, name, the whole world, except for us. Any words on that, my brother? Because I'll go in.
You doing a pretty bang up job, if I might say so myself.
Brother, yes, just go ahead, my brother.
It might take a whole show. You might have to do a series on that one.
Brother.
It hasn't been tried. Not effectively. You know. Always need numbers.
Right.
But one thing, because we Moors, so we got to be scientists about this, and we always have to look at ourselves, because that's what the lessons tell us to do, right?
Yes, sir.
So I'm gonna say it. I don't know if it's been said. I done missed a few shows. I got a few things cooking in the background, but what we did on April 10th.
Yes, sir.
It set a shockwave. See, I pay attention. Now, you notice, now we had a specific purpose when we went into that event. A specific purpose. We got it done. And now we're seeing the residual effects, because now there's a shift. All the debates, they starting to die out. And now people starting to want to talk about solutions, which is, you got to give us our credit.
Absolutely.
We brought that to the table, but we also, and this is, we got to gut check ourselves sometimes, but we also have to take and seeing that we got to take a step back sometime and let things play out too, because they talking about it. I mean, we were successful, we winning. You know, no matter how they try to spin it, we winning. So the more they talk solutions, the better it is. We got the solutions.
Exactly.
We already done the research. We're continuing to do the research. We're continuing to put our work. So just come on with us. Just, you know, check us out.
Well, you hitting the, as they would say, you hitting the nail on the head, more. You know, my big brother, and I call him my big brother affectionately, Sinetta. Love the brother, love what he do, love what he do, love what he do. Don't support everything he do, but the ideal of trying to do something different got you with it. But my brother, he asked me one day, he said, do you think we need to change or update the teachings of the Prophet Noble Drew Ali? And my question to him, well, what part of the teachings are you talking about? Because see, I already know the answer is no. But I say, what part of the teachings are you talking about? You see? So he don't know the teaching, so he can't tell me what part. So I said to him, I said, I already know you ain't gonna tell me which part, but he picked out the white meat purity, and then I said, what up? I say, brother, none of the teachings have to be updated due to the fact we have not caught up with the teachings yet. We have not caught up to the teachings of the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. We behind. The teachings are way ahead. We are just discovering what it is and just scratching the surface. And I can tell you that because we see now how the new young generation is opening their mind to it. And how hard it was 10 to 15 years ago to say something simple like black is not a nationality. You will argue with 20 people, with the 20 out of 20, you arguing with them. Today, it's not like that.
That's right.
So it's definitely not like that today. When I see my brother, I can't think of my brother's name, but you know who I'm talking about, from Texas. Young brother. And congratulations, they about to be married and everything. Congratulations, my brother. You know who I'm talking about. I forget your name. Nevertheless, when you see young couples, you know what I mean? Young couples, I mean young 20s, fez, turban, shining. The sisters coming through, shining. Shout out to T. Hamilton L. Coming through, shining. I mean, and all the sisters that, man, look, man, I got to keep it 100. Somebody gonna be mad today. Man, you going, man, they gonna be mad today, brother Stope Bay. Man, you go in some of these other situations, man, sisters look downtrodden and oppressed, man.
Mm-hmm.
Downtrodden and oppressed. Man, our sister came through that shining, man. They were shining, man. I'm going to tell you what, man. I'm going to tell you what, Snow Bay. I'm telling you. I'm single, brother. I'm telling you, I had my eyes on a sister. I mean, not no crazy way, not no crazy way. But I said from this day forward, man, that sister looks so beautiful. I said from this day forward, I'm not accepting nothing less than a Mobitus. A conscious Mobitus. If I can't get me a conscious Mobitus to ride out this journey, I don't want nothing. I don't want nothing.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Our sisters look so big. And I'm not talking about no lower self checking out no sisters. So don't you start that with me, people. I'm just saying, man, them sisters just look fabulous, man. Beautiful, 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 man. Honest to the Moorish queens, Moorish Mobitus. Man, they was looking fabulous. Anyway, brother, this is a new day for the Moors, brother. And I invite everybody, Asiatic, every Asiatic to at least step in the temple and see what it's about. Let me give a little bit of history real quick, brother Snowman.
Yes,
back in the 20s, right? The sisters was working, being providers. The men was literally trying to keep the foot off of their neck and be providers. But sisters always had the access a little better than we did. Now, in the 60s, speed up to the 60s, if you study a little bit of history, speed up to the 60s, I think they was fighting for women's liberation or something like that. This is the European. But let me know this. Our sisters never had those issues. Within the Moorish Science Temple of America, you can come into the Moorish Science Temple of America and be a member and run the whole organization. From member to the whole organization. It was founded like that. Show me where else that can happen. As it relates to a religious organization, a religious corporation, show me anywhere where that can happen. Don't exist. Don't exist. The Prophet Noble Drew Ali came with a liberating message for everybody. Everybody. And so I say that to say that sisters, if you have seen them beautiful sisters on them pictures that I post, stop into a temple. See what it's all about. But now back to Philadelphia. Brother, what can you tell me about Philadelphia back in the day, brother? What they did? What they do to us, brother Snowman? What they do to us, brother?
Oh, well, I mean, that's where they took the nationality at. You know, it's always a place of origin, and that's it right there. We only hear one side of it, but that's where it went down.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think people think that that we make up this stuff as we go along. You know what I mean? I think people think that we make up this stuff as we go along, like, oh, they don't want to be black because the European made the word bad, and now they don't want to be black because it's bad and stuff like that. Like, we making this stuff up as we go along. Where on the face of the earth, every nation of the earth has names, customs, traditions, culture, character. We can't find none of this in the term black, colored, African, or all these other sayings. And then another thing, like I mean, in the basic sense, right? In the basic sense, why don't we even question how we went from the Prophet Noble Drew Ali saying, we are not Negro, black, colored, or Ethiopians, right? Like, why can't in the basic sense, if you never heard of this information before, just trace history back at the time when we called ourselves colored, and then went from colored to black, and from black to Afro-American, from Afro-American to African-American. Like, do that make any kind of sense? An
Well,
Italian been Italian since he was Italian. Crazy.
It makes sense to people who don't know no better, but to anybody else, it don't make no sense.
It's crazy. It's you know, it's so crazy to me. And like I say, man, some people might get upset, but I gotta keep it 100 today, man. We watched the video when I don't know if you've seen it, but I seen it, my brother. When my brother Polite, shout out to my brother Polite. My brother Polite went to Egypt, you know. He went to Kemet for one of his debates, you know, because he knew that somebody was gonna say, oh, you talk about Kemet, you ain't never been there. So he went to Kemet for one of his debates. And if you watch the video, you'll see in the video where as though the people of Egypt, they would not call him black. They would not call this brother black. He said, you can call me black. He said, no. And basically they say it's offensive to call somebody black. Yet, and this ain't a shot at my brother Polite, this is my man. But he came back And guess what he began to call himself again? Black. I'm just making a point, man. If my brother for life, there ain't a shot at you, brother. I'm just making a point that outside of the United States, this stuff is insane. It only makes sense to, excuse my expression, it only makes sense to so-called black people in the United States and Europeans that want to subject you. It only makes sense to them. It don't make sense nowhere else in the world. Nowhere else in the world does it make sense. Even the Spanish people that come here, and I say Spanish-speaking people, in case somebody say that more, no, ain't no Spanish, ain't no nationality, whatever. Get out of here. I'm not talking about that. Our people from Mexico that come here, our people from south of the border that come here that speak Spanish, they won't even call you black. They're going to call you moreno. They're not going to call you negro. Because it's offensive. Even in the Spanish language where black comes from negro, the English variation or English derivative, whatever, same thing, interchangeable, negro, black. They will not call you black. They're going to call you what, Snow Bay? Moreno. They're going to call the female what? Morena.
That's right.
And the crazy thing about it, we don't even hone into that. I mean, Moors do, but I'm talking about our people that love to subscribe to these type of adjectives. They don't even like I could even, I mean, I'm calling out names just for the point, because we had a beautiful day in Philadelphia, you know. But even my brother my brother Sinetta, he come from a Spanish-speaking background. He knows the difference between morena and negro. He knows the difference. See, this is the thing.
It's a psychological construct.
It's something, man. It's something. You know, a lot of people really want to hold on to this old way of thinking. But the crazy thing about it, it has never gotten them anywhere. Never got us anywhere. Never. And it never will get us anywhere. Until we decide, you know what, enough is enough.
But hold on, we got the Black City Sovereignty Plan.
Yeah, let's talk about that, brother. That's why, Sharif, you can't get on here today because you're on your way home and you can't stop my brother Snow Bay. Shout out to my brother Sharif. We hung out today. Hopefully he home by now because he left early around 4 o'clock, so he should be home by now. But nevertheless, I want to ask you, Snow Bay, what is the Black City Sovereignty Plan? Can we break that down for a minute, just for fun?
I don't know what it is.
That's right. That's right. You don't know what it is. And guess what? Guess what? The one who authored it don't know what it is.
Yeah,
Don't
Reggie is he don't like I heard some stuff. Like it got like the inklings of like it could work in theory, but it need to be, you know, he need to hash it out a little bit more.
Bro, the problem with a lot of these plans, is that it's not indicative of long-term freedom. Meaning this, without a nationality is the cohesive glue that glues people together.
No, you're too far over the head. You're too far over the head. Let me you took the gloves off, right? So let me take mine off real fast. Here's the real issue, right? It can't give you you know what you want out of that black, because it sounds good. It sounds good as a slogan. Like that's why I said he has the good inklings of it. But here's the real issue. In order to take over a city, like he said, you know, you can't go around talking about black power everywhere because everybody ain't gonna be into black power. And most of the people that handle the infrastructure, the things that you actually need to do to run a city, to actually run it, not just talk about running it, but to actually run it, they not on that black power stuff.
Exactly. Exactly.
And because you know, and I don't want to just say the black power stuff, but because we put so much effort and emphasis into essentially, well, at the end of the day, no matter how much they talk about, you know, religion, how you know we enslaving people throughout history and all that good stuff, right? Being conscious, if we want to keep it real, it's a feel good mechanism. It's no different than religion, and because you focus so much on that, you would have no idea how to run a city.
Huh. Huh. Huh.
Because the first thing you're gonna have to do to run a city is learn some diplomacy. You're gonna have to learn some politics. You're not gonna get it done without that. And traditionally, right? Let's keep it real. To be conscious, quote unquote, means to be anti-political.
Hmm.
So you're gonna walk into that arena, you know, green, wet behind the ears, you know, whatever rookie concept that you want to have for it, that's how you walking into that arena. You know what I'm saying? So in concept and in theory and idea, you know, it sound good that you want to have a black city sovereignty program, but you can't even agree on Kemet. So how you gonna get somebody to a voting poll? And that's what real unity comes in at. I say it again. I said it on Sign of the TV in 2010 when he had a little a gathering. It's only two ways you can unite. It's only two ways. You either going like they could be black. You could be black. You could be white. You could be purple. You can be whatever you want. It's only two ways you're going to unite. You either going to unite economically, or you're going or you're going to unite politically. Because in those two realms, what you feel don't necessarily matter.
That's right.
I don't care if you don't necessarily subscribe to the Moorish paradigm. We can still spend money together.
Huh.
This is what the prophet really meant when he said, you know, no other one thing was more important than economic security. Because we could talk until we blew in the face. We could keep talking. If you ain't got no money, you ain't buying no politician.
Yeah.
Stop fronting about that too, because if you're gonna get in the political game, you're gonna have to buy some politicians. You're gonna have to grease some elbows. You ain't gonna be able to go in there and just pump your fists and say black power or power to the people and think that's just gonna make somebody move. Let's
Man,
be real.
and you know the crazy thing about that, brother Snowbay, is that people they truly believe that yelling some black power stuff is going to make something move. That's not going to make anything move. You know, the way that the Prophet Noble Drew Ali does business, the way that the Prophet Noble Drew Ali does business, he allows you by the will of Allah for you to learn yourself, acknowledge yourself, and live within yourself of being a Moorish American, and you allow somebody else to be themselves. Live and let live.
Yes,
I don't
sir.
have to knock you down to build me up. You know, I need to work with you because we here. I have to work with you. I ain't got to be a sucker for you, but we gonna have to work together. We here. It is what it is. I ain't got to marry your children. You ain't got to marry mine. You ain't gonna marry mine. I ain't marrying yours. But we are here. We're gonna have to change money from hand to hand. Some credit lines, some ideas. That's a great idea. What I'm gonna say? Oh man, that European made that idea. I ain't messing with that.
You talking business, and they, you know, you can't incorporate into the state.
That's the
You
crazy.
be 501c3. You can't do this. You can't do that. Even though everybody else is doing it, and they and it's paying off for them, but we keep sitting on the sidelines complaining. It's again, it's psychological. Like if you want to keep it real, then like let's keep it real. How you it's one thing, and I don't want to, like, I gotta, you know, I hate kind of using him as an example, but it's right there. Like it's cool platform that sign that is built, right? But it's a mall
Yes, absolutely.
right behind you.
Look at this,
You know?
brother.
So you could get white people to kneel on their knees. That's one thing, but you can't get them to open that door.
And you can't get them to open that vote, that door. I want that vote. That finance to take up liquidation. We need to open that up. You know.
And it's a way, it's ways to do it. But again, see, we don't want to see, we want to talk about entering that game, but we don't want to do what's necessary to do it. You don't want to go take a class, a business class, learn how to start a business, or you know, because the more business you start, the better your business credit can be. If you making, I mean, if you got common sense, but you need different entities working together. You got to have somebody in City Hall that's going to grease some wheels for you to get that door to open.
Exactly.
You're going to need money. You know, they call it grease money for a reason. So, you know, we got to start thinking if we really serious about, you know, putting these plans into action. You know, that we got to put them into action. And there's one thing, you know, you can have whatever opinion you want about the prophet. He put it to work.
Absolutely, brother. With that being said, let me bring my brother back in real quick, brother. Because I really want to display my big brother real quick. Azim Hopkins, big brother. I honor that brother for the work that he, man, that brother demonstrate.
They gotta say nothing to me. Put him on.
Brother demonstrate. So we go overflow. We're going to overflow them with some.
That's page 3. By these lessons, you can get your house in order. No, that's mathematics. The prophet said, by these lessons, teach this lesson to your little ones, that they may learn to love instead of hate. Prophet says to their fathers, teach these lessons to your little ones, that they will learn to love instead of hate. Islam on. Oh, that's what the prophet said. We got a lot of single mothers out there, and I give honor to these single mothers because they're powerful, they're strong, bro. Allah made them. And Prophet Muhammad says they're next to Allah in creation. Paradise is at the foot of the mother. But, Mo, you need mother and father. Mother lays down Allah. Father enforces the law. You need both. That structure. And our babies, they have rights. They have a right to be raised in a household that's structured and together. That's their right. You don't do that, you're violating their rights. Brothers, we got Mo, Islam, my brothers. Islam. We gotta get right, stop playing. Stop playing with these sisters. In Islamism, there is no boyfriend or girl for this. No. In Islamism. If you with a sister woman, all right, stop playing with that sister. You either have intentions on marrying her or you don't. If you don't, leave her alone. Wow. That's your sister woman. If you have intentions on marrying her, don't be real about it. Get yourself right. Oh, we got premarital counseling. And that's something that we encourage in the Moorish scientific America. Marriage. Because all of this laying down together without being married, that's destroying the nation. And my babies, listen, my babies are right there. They're going to be embarrassed when you look at it. They might start crying. I love them to death, though. I love them to life. I love them to life. But when a brother becomes interested in these sisters, I will never obligate these sisters to an unconscious. I won't do it. If these brothers want to get even close to my babies, Mom, they got to do some work, Mom. They got to do some weightlifting, Mom. You know, sisters raise the bar. The bar too low. The things this brother getting away with because you let him get away with it. Raise that bar. That bar's so high, he got to do some push-ups to get through it. So he got to work, he got to study. He got to come to Sunday school, Mom. You want to get close to my babies, Mom. You got to come to Sunday school. You got to come to the Prophet's Holy Day meeting. And we need to all take that position with our children. Don't gamble with your babies. Right now, we're at a tug of war between Asia and the Prophet. You trying to bring them under the Prophet, more than cares in the world got him by the neck. Why? What are you doing? Prophet said, must be also dependent whether the child of thy bosom be a blessing or a curse to thyself. No. The reason I move like how I move is because of my mother and my father, may Allah be pleased with them. A real man, Mo. He was a real man. He didn't play. And this sister right here don't play. When it comes to Islam, they don't play. So they put it in me, Mo, so I can be honest to them and then be obedient to the Prophet and ultimately Allah. We gotta get our houses in order. We gotta stop playing. Brothers, you got a fez on, teach your sister woman. I understand sometimes, oftentimes, brothers come to the temple already married. I get it. And you can't compel nobody. There's no compulsion in Islam. No. But the Prophet says, if you got a wife and she's not in the temple, give her 2 apples. That means be twice as nice. Brothers, imitate the Prophet. If you with a sister and she says she loves you but don't love the Prophet, you're doing something wrong, Mo. You're doing something wrong. Because the Prophet says, imitate I the Prophet. So if that sister says she loves you, she must love the Prophet. If she don't, you're not doing something correct.
That's right.
Sisters, raise the bar. I have, and this is not the Prophet, this is me, forgive me. But I have a personal belief that if our sisters get themselves together, the brothers, they would have no choice. That's right. Because a lot of what we do it for the sisters. You know, back in the day, you know, feelings about your sharkies. You got an outline, sharp outline. They would actually dye the head, dye the outline. They not doing it for the brothers. They doing it for the sisters. You look good, put your good smells on, get shoes look nice. They doing it for the brother to say, oh, you look good. They doing it for the sister. They close to the sister. But if the sisters took a position, I don't want no Negro. That's right. I don't want no Negro. I don't want no slave. I don't want no slave. I want a king. Someone of noble character. That's what I'm going to get. That brother don't have no choice. Oh, that's what I got. I got to come to the temple. Yeah, you got to come to the temple. Oh, man, I got to read that over the second one. Yeah, you got to read that over the second one. Oh, man. Yeah, that's what you got to do. You see that real good. Sisters, raise the bar. I'm going to get that. You are beautiful. There's nothing more beautiful to me than the Asiatics. She's beautiful. You're special. You are unique and you deserve the best. That brother not living up to the standards, man. Nobody's got to walk away. Like the Prophet says to the brother. Brother, the Prophet says to the brother, if her feet abide not her father's house, you got to turn your feet, bro. From her path, Lord. And if any of you are involved with someone, don't get physically intimate. Make a resolution from this day forward. You may have been in the past, and Allah forgive you. From this day forward, take that position. I'm not going to be physically intimate with my significant other until I got a ring on. You know what I'm saying? Until I got a ring on. gotta clean up. Our judgment is clouded. Physical intimacy follows your judgment. Spiritual intimacy is cursed. You get to know each other, get to know each other's spirit, get to know each other's soul. What it means to get to know each other's soul, that means get to know how
Islam. What I'm trying to get to is when I played my brother, Azim Hopkins Bey. And I'm not going to play the whole thing because I'm actually going to put together a DVD and I'm going to present it to my brother and the family. And we're going to put it all together. But what I wanted to display is how Moorish science gives us a structure, of family, of principle, of cohesion. Like when the call was made about the Moorish American Rememberace Day, and people answered the call, they answered it because they honor the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. They honor the spirit of the Prophet. And we all wear the same fez, under the same flag that is over 10,000 years old, the same Holy Quran of the Moorish Science Temple of America, the same questionnaire, the same Moorish literature. What I'm getting to, we have things that unite us. As I look in the chat, why do we look for things that divide us? See, when you begin to look for something that divides us, and sometimes we're going to point out certain aspects of our life and our belief and our faith just to try to examine to see if we're on the right path, that's fine. But to point out things for the sake of straight dividing us, man, that's that slave mentality all over again, manifested in 2016. Because what I seen this Saturday, man, I seen a unity that any one of us, Asiatic or Moorish, could subscribe to and have a wonderful time with your people that you are bloodline drawn to or bloodline come from, the bloodline that you come from. Whether you knew anything about Moorish science or not, if you would have tended that, man, then stick with you for the rest of your life. Because I'm telling you, all of that difference in your heart would disappear. It would disappear. So I employed brothers like Kitty. That's a brother on the chat always trying to go in. I employed a brother like Kitty. Find a Moorish American Muslim and just communicate with him. Make sure he's a Moorish American Muslim, not just a Moor, not just one that says he's a Moorish American Muslim. His character should dictate upright behavior at all times. He shouldn't be talking about Moorish 1 minute and then the next minute he talking about how the booty on little yo girl is or stuff like that. You know what I'm talking about? Let's keep it 100. No. Make sure that his character is upright and communicate with him. At least give yourself some understanding. You see, because when if y'all paid attention to my big brother, Azim Hopkins Bey, everything came out his mouth, said community, said nation, said family, said the love for one another, and said we are one. It had principle, morals. He said, brothers, from this day forward, don't get physically intimate with your sister woman or whatever the case may be, your girlfriends or whatever you call. You know what I mean? What the brother is talking about, we need discipline. We need discipline. Discipline builds character. And with discipline and character, then we would not have to do to others what we would not have done to us. Then we can begin to respect one another because we respect ourselves. So I employ everybody. If you're not a Moorish American, find a Moorish American, find a Moorish Science Temple. Brother, we had Sunday school today, and we had 2 people come in that was unfamiliar with Moorish Science. This is for the Moorish American Muslim. Listen up. We had people that come in that wasn't Moorish, that have never been to Moorish Science. It was elder sister. I don't want to say her age, but she was the elder sister. She just walked in from around the corner. Then we had another brother that drove from DC because he see the videos on YouTube. So as we begin to teach, and I'm listening, I said, you know what? Pause for a minute. And this is for the Moorish American. I said, pause for a minute. Let's find out who we are talking to. Then we had to backpedal for 1 second and say that, listen, there was a time when I subscribed to Negro, Black, and Colored. There was a time when I had to walk through this door. So we need to remember that there was a time when we had to walk through the door of the Moorish Science Temple of America. And we want to talk to people in a way, that they can comprehend. It's your mic for me, Snowbank. And we have to talk to people in a way that they can comprehend. See, it's not hard teaching nationality. It's really not hard. But if we say it in a way that we say it to each other, because we've been saying it for the past 10, 15 years, or 5 or 6 years, it might don't seem as simple as we saying it. See, nationality is very basic. It's very basic. Everybody on the face of the earth, outside of those who are descended or subjected to the slave trade, has a nationality. We have one too. But I mean, everybody lives under the rules of nationality, except for us. Isn't that kind of strange? Isn't that kind of strange that no matter where you go, Kitty, no matter where you go in the world, have you left your hood before? Have you left your hood? Have you left the country? Have you studied different nations? No matter where you go in the world, people have a nationality. Regardless of what land they come from, they subscribe their name according to that land. So a brother might say, well, where's the Moors' land? Nationality is not necessarily indicative of a land. Go look that up. Matter of fact, I'll give you a test. Google newly formed nationalities or newly formed nations. Go do that. Or play around with that type of data. Newly formed nation, the last formed nation, the last formed nationality. Google things like that, and then you'll see. Listen, we got to come together. We are going to solve nothing if we don't come together. And I'm going to say this. As we run around screaming, the Black Power, as we run around screaming all this obnoxious stuff, ask yourself, is that who I want to teach my child? Is that who I want to teach my daughter? The people that you look up to on these YouTube stations, is that who I want to sit my daughter in front? Is that who I want to sit my son in front of? Can they teach my son industry? Can they teach my son politics? Politics is what run the world. Can they teach my son true spirituality, not dogma? That's what you have to ask yourself when we listen to all these people that's mentally stroking each other. What about the real world? What about the real world? What do they have to offer to the real world? What do they have to offer to the real world? That's the question. The question is, what do the people that you subscribe to have to offer to the real world? Is there a true unity? When are they going to make the call for a picture, a unity picture? The unity picture? For real? For real. We don't, the unity picture is what's going to bring us over the top. That's what's going to take us over the top. For real. Come on, man. What's going to take us over the top is us understanding that we are one people. And whether you choose to subscribe to Moorish or not, we need your vote. We need your vote. And you need our vote. Here's what it is. Let me tell you something. We got ourselves in this thing together. It's going to take us together to get us up out of this. What do I mean? When people show these pictures, talk about the Moors enslaved Africans. Okay. You know you're a Moor, right? You ain't got to acknowledge, but you know you're a Moor, right? The Moors, they are the slave, they are the race traders. They are the race traders. You know you're a Moor, right? Okay, again, say for instance, who say they wasn't the Moor. Say, okay, scrap the name Moor for a minute. Scrap it. The same people of northwest, southwestern shores of Africa, if they have participated in the slave trade in any shape or form, they still your people. See, you can't be so foolish to think that you're going to put something on the Moors and you escape for being held accountable. Our people went astray, man. Sister, our people went astray. Our people went astray. Chasing gods of Europe, little trinkets. They were Moors. But take the name Moor off, they were you. They were your forefathers. They were your foremothers. There's nowhere in the world we could get in this condition without our forefathers. We are the founders of civilization. There's nowhere in the world that we could find ourselves in this condition without our blood-related forefathers participating. Get over it. In the same way that we got in, we must get ourselves out. The only way we're going to get out is through unity. That's it. There is no other way. There is no magic wand. There is no Jesus save me. There is no Allah help me. There is none of that. You can say Allah help me all you want. And Allah will. If it's Allah's will. As an individual. Because God, Allah, He comes to individuals. He comes to families. He comes to tribes, and then he delivers nations. Allah delivers individuals. Almighty God, he delivers individuals. He delivers families. He delivers tribes and delivers nations. When are we going to get the message that we are a nation? And if we want to be delivered as a nation, we must come together as a nation. You don't have to agree with everything I say, but link yourself. Link yourself so we can move forward. Here in Baltimore, what I'm trying to do is get ourselves politically in shape. What I mean politically in shape? We're going to put somebody in office so we can get our thing going here in Baltimore. And I implore everybody in your city, become politically active. No more being politically aware. Next step, politically active. Politically active. No more just aware. Time to be politically active. Awareness, those days are, man, being aware, you just tooting your own horn. Oh, I'm aware. I'm conscious. Being conscious is not enough no more. Being conscious is not enough no more. Being active. Activate your consciousness. Activate your consciousness. Activate your consciousness by making something happen. Stop waiting for something to happen. Stop asking for somebody to make it happen for you. It's up to you to make it happen. Link yourself with a brother or a sister and make something happen. Activate your consciousness. Keep telling people I'm conscious. What are you producing? Oh yeah, we definitely got to be economically aware, my brother. I see you, Lenore's. Absolutely. Absolutely. You can best believe I'm economically aware. You better believe that. So if I miss something, don't think I'm trying to leave it out. Because I'm not a slave maker. I'm trying to free you. But only Allah, Almighty God, the netches, let him touch your heart and open your heart up. Let him open your heart up. Because listen, the time is now. Don't be on the punk side. Don't be on the losing side. Standing on some old doctrine that was designed for you to fail. That was designed for you to fail. And I say this, Prophet Noble Drew Ali looked like you. Those who are distractors, those that don't want to believe that he came to uplift us, to bring us up out of this condition, he looks like you. A lot of that stuff that you're following comes from people that don't look like you. Comes from people that don't look like you. But you got a nerve to not even give somebody who looks like you a chance. And that's where the answers lies. Within you and within your people. The answer don't lie out there. You keep on looking all you want. Ain't no answer out there. Ain't no answer out there. You can keep on looking. Wasting your time. So my thing is this. When I say go to a temple, find somebody in a temple, I no longer implore you to try to subscribe to the Moorish Temple of America. That's between you and you. But what I do implore you to do is to link yourself with industrious Moors so we can get some of this work done. So we can get some of our taxpaying money back. We ain't asking for it. Nah, It's a process. Operation Proclamation. It's a process. Link yourself with somebody that's doing something. Don't get all pumped up from a YouTube video. Find somebody that's doing something so we can get something done. Let me play my brother one more time before I leave out on this note. I mean this, man. We gotta find a way. We have to find a way to stop trying to be so critical of one another, and we ain't getting nothing done. We ain't getting nothing done. And let me ask a few questions. Do the Moors support the group Friends of the African Union? Absolutely. I got Yona Ill number in my phone. Yona Ill number is in my phone. That's my brother, my friend. Absolutely. Matter of fact, me and him are in talks right now to make some things happen. Waiting on the call, Yona Ill. Absolutely we do. We'll work with any group that is for the progression, any organized group that is for the progression and advancement of our people. That doesn't mean that I have to co-sign your theology or philosophy. Economics, man, let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Anyone interested in the basic? Oh, my brother, Woods Hill. Big up, Woods Hill. I always see you doing your work. Big up, brother. We're interested in anybody that is interested in the advancement of our people. Most importantly, economics, because we may not agree on religious issues. But we can agree on some economic issues. I bet that. I bet that. So, brother, we got to get this thing together. Let me get one more. Let me see what else I got here real quick. Let me see what else I got here. Let me see if I can get a short one real quick. Here we go. Here we go. Let me get a real... Yeah.
Father, ye are the children of one Father,
provided for by his care,
provided for by his care,
and the breast of one mother,
and the breast
of affection,
and the bonds of affection.
Therefore, unite thee with thy brother,
Unite thee with thy brother,
that peace and happiness,
that peace and happiness
may dwell in thy father's house. And when ye separate in the world,
remember the relations that bind you to love you, and prefer not strangers, before thy own love. If thy brothers and adversaries assist them, if thy sister is in trouble, forsake her not. So shall the fortune of thy father contribute to the support of his holy race, and his care be continued to be all in your love to each other. Peace. Praise Allah. Islam Moors. Islam. Next, I will call forth Sheikh Divine Minister, Sister Ehab Bank, to read a tribute in the proclamation handed down by the city of Philadelphia under the administration of the Honorable Mayor Nutter. Islam Moors. See, this day is recognized. And Prophet Noble Drawley reportedly stated, I got the government, all I need is you. So we're going to read how the government of the city of Philadelphia also is honored and recognized in this day as Moorish American Remembrance Day. Islam Moors.
Islam.
Islam.
But first give all praises to Allah, the great God of the universe. Honors to his illustrious Prophet Noble Drawley, last prophet in these days. I would like to give honors to the forerunner of the prophet, Brother Marcus Hussein Garvey. I would like to give honors to all whom honor is due, and I would like to give honors to each and every one of you. Islam.
Islam.
I would like to extend a happy Moorish American Remembrance Day to each and every one of you. Islam.
Islam.
Happy Holy Day. It's a beautiful day. Praise Allah. City of Philadelphia tribute. Philadelphia is a city that is proud to welcome people from all walks of life, religions, and cultures. We are a city rich in diversity with a history of compassion and tolerance. On this, the occasion a Memorial Week service for Moorish Americans. We recognize the and contributions of Moorish Americans to the seat of brotherly love and sisterly affection. Moorish Americans are known for their magnanimity and their strict adherence to the law and loyalty to society. Since our country is founded, the Moors have had a place in America, but not always considered an equal place with other Americans. Never losing faith in the essence of the American dream, Moors struggle to find their rightful place in American society. Now Moorish Americans contribute daily to the quality of our lives and vitality of our city and our nation. The Moorish American Society of Philadelphia has remained committed to its efforts to correct past injustices. Their work continues towards a better tomorrow for people of Moorish ancestry throughout the region. It is fitting and appropriate, therefore, that the city of Philadelphia recognize with this tribute Moorish Americans on the occasion of their Memorial Week service, October 14th through October 20th, as they celebrate freedom under the Constitution of the United States of America. Signed by the mayor. I will now read the proclamation. Philadelphia flourishes through the diversity found in our city of neighborhoods, communities, organizations, and institutions. It frequently serves to unify citizens and build a greater awareness of the character and traditions that influence their culture. The Moorish Science Temple of America is an outstanding example of such a unifying institution. The Moorish Science Temple of America was established in 1913 by Prophet Noble Drawley to provide a spiritual framework and educate members of their culture and religious background. On July 20th, 1928, the Moorish Science Temple of America was formally incorporated as the first Islamic religious organization to appoint and consecrate missionaries to promote the Islamic faith in America. The Moorish Science Temple of America instructs its members in principles based on love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. The organization exists to serve human needs through charity, assist members in need of service, foster practices that improve health, aid in housing improvements, increase employment opportunities, and teach fundamentals of good citizenship, including obedience to the law, loyalty to government, tolerance, and unity. The Moorish Science Temple of America is dedicated to the economic development of its membership and elevating the moral and social status of the community at large. Since August 3rd, 1928, the Moorish Science Temple of America, Temple number 11, has existed as a nationally affiliated organization within Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Temple number 11 has been in service of the community for over 7 decades. On October 14th, Temple number 11 will join in an observance of 100th anniversary of the founding of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Therefore, I, the mayor of the city of Philadelphia, do hereby proclaim October 14th to be Moorish American Remembrance Day in Philadelphia and commend Isaac Hopkins Bay, Grand Chief of the Moorish Science Temple of America, subordinate Temple number 11, for his continued work to heighten spiritual, moral, and cultural awareness of the Islamic faith and improve the quality of life for citizens. Signed by the mayor.
Praise our love. Islam. All right, boys, we're going to start our Trek Back to History tour. We're going to talk about.
Now look. Islam. Now look. They just read a legal document acknowledging the work that my brother has done, his family has done, by the way of the teachings of the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. I mean, this is the real deal. This is the real deal. It's the real deal. What's the problem? I'm gonna show one more thing, because I want y'all to know that listen, this is not a game. We are definitely doing what we supposed to be doing. And let me share one last thing. This is how good things went with us. You know what I mean? So we're gonna do it like this. Okay. All right, here we go. Hold on. Work with me. Okay, here we go. Oh. Screen share. Here we go.
Those diagnosed with cancer who explored their treatment options by getting a second opinion. Second opinions are available here in Philadelphia in just one day. Learn more at cancercenter.com/Eastern.
Dozens of people gathered in Center City, Philadelphia today to commemorate their enslaved ancestors. The Moorish Science Temple of America held a Moorish American Remembrance Day in front of the Visitor Center on Market Street. They read a proclamation recognizing the contributions of their ancestors. The Moors are of North African Muslim descent.
Now listen, I did all that.
Real barbecue starts with a
this
smoke.
stuff as I go along.
Smoke low and slow on site every day.
Check this out.
We've been doing it for over 70 years. Order a family pack today
This
from
noise.
Dickies at Dickies.com. Dickies.
And I'm learning this stuff as I go along. But I did that to say, man, people are actually recognizing again. See, this ain't my fault. I'm looking over there. My fault. This is not the first time that this has happened, where people begin to recognize and accept that we are coming into our own as to it relates who we are. In conclusion of this show, I want to say that in the 1920s, and I wish I could do some split screens of some newspaper articles. In the 1920s, specifically 26 through 29. Now stop for a moment. Stop for a moment. Think. Go back in time. Let's think. What was going on through 1926 and 29? Matter of fact, if you don't know, get an almanac. Go online and get an almanac. What exactly was happening in 1926 through 1929? I want you to think about that for a minute. And then once you finish thinking about that for a second, let me recap. Prophet Noble Drew Ali, by the will of Allah, by the will of the great God of the universe, creates an organization founded in 1913 that even at that time, a female, a woman, a lady, a sister could go from a member to the leader. 0 to 100 real quick. That's how the movement was founded. It is what it is. Today, we still questioning whether a European woman, Hillary, is fit for president. Today. No, like right now, like 10/19, October the 16th. Today. Back in the 1920s. You tell me, and you got a nerve to ask me, do we need to update the teachings? In the 1920s, the prophet seen that a woman was fit to lead. In the 1920s. Now, Now, not only, I said this had been done before, not only was that unique, but what else was unique is that the Moors participated in a free national ballot. Mind you, Kitty, and whoever else talking crazy, right now, we still have in this government a law that says the government, Congress, every 10 years got to sign something for the so-called black people, the Fair Voting Act. Every 10 years. Every 10 years. They was fighting for voters' rights in the 60s. Prophet Noble Drew Ali participated, his members, his followers, the Moors participated in putting people in office and getting things done. So all them other plans, I can't rock with that. I've seen this plan work in action. All you got to do is go back and read the documents. Okay, the Moors dropped the ball. But every time a great leader, a revolutionary leaves the scene, that's what happens. The followers scatter a little bit. It's normal. You can find any great leader that left the scene, physically left the scene, what you would call die. I don't agree with that. It's a transition. After that happened, confusion starts. Happens all the time through history. But in today's world, our prophet, the prophet Noble Drew Ali, sent to you and me. His body of work was a prophecy that we must fulfill. What he did, we must do to liberate us. Like it or not. Like it or not. I got you, my brother Chosen Few. We definitely do a show about that. But like it or not, what he did specifically from 26 through the time of his transition, we must do on a grand scale to liberate us. And until we acknowledge that, and until we attempt to do it, you get what you give. You give nothing, you get nothing. Just what it is. You get what you give. That's just how life is. So what you willing to give so we can get something? What you willing to give? Sometimes you got to let go something so you can make room for something else. In this case, you're going to have to let go that fictitious identity so you can make room for something else. You have to let it go. You know what? You don't have to let it go. You don't have to let it go. But you'll watch the civilized world pass you by. You'll watch the civilized world look at you like, what is wrong with you? You've been over here since how long? Like we quick to say, oh, this is our land. We indigenous of this land. But here we go with the Mexicans and the people south of the border coming here in the last 20, 30 years and got more than what you have. You really telling somebody that. You really telling somebody that. This is our land. I got a right to travel. This is our land. That's what it comes to. Arguing about who is free from a traffic ticket. That's what we get to. That's what this fight is all about. For real. Come on, man. Come on, man. We got to come together, man. We got to come together as a nation of people, man. We got to come together as a nation of people, sis. We got to come together. We don't have to agree on everything. The power is in the numbers. The power is in the numbers. We have to come together. And if we don't come together, we will have nothing. Period. All of those other stuff. Who else has a plan? Show me the plan. Man, and let's do this in real time. You talking about the Black City Sovereignty Plan from my brother Reggie? Where have you seen Reggie on the campaign trail? When you ever seen Reggie with a group of people trying to institute this plan? I just showed you a group of people, a group of Moors trying to implement the plan of the Prophet Noble Drew Ali, not trying, actually implementing the plan. Where else are people implementing the plan in real time? And I am not in no way, I'm not in no way making light of the true efforts under other banners. I'm not making light of that in no way. So don't you ever say that I am secular, because that ain't me. That ain't my style. But I think what we need to do is put all the plans on the table and see which one is more practical. And see which one is more practical. Let's put all the plans on the table and let's see which one is more practical. And I will guarantee you, without a doubt or contradiction, the Prophet Noble Drew Ali plan is more practical than any plan that you have ever heard. Maybe you just haven't heard it right. You ever think about that? Maybe you let the feds scare you. Maybe you let the turban scare you, sister. We playing catch up as human beings. We try and catch up to the plan of the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. And if you believe in God in any way, and if you believe in prophets in any way, like I believe in God and I believe in the Prophet Noble Drew Ali, this plan is going to work regardless whether you like it or not. Whether in this generation or the next, it's going to work. Because guess what? He was sent by God to do the work. And it's not no spooky stuff that you're used to. It's not no spooky stuff like you're used to. It's not no dressing up no certain way. It's not no praying no certain way. Nearest place to me, the law is in the heart. Go into that centermost part of your being. Commune with your creator and ask him to reveal to you what's really right. But then will you have enough courage for the truth? Will you have enough courage to let go of that nonsense and link yourself with the families of nations? Will you have enough courage? Will you be able to look at somebody that know that you've been living a certain way for a long time and say, man, I'm not with that no more. Man, I'm moving on. I'm moving with this. Would you have enough courage for truth? See, a lot of us don't have enough courage for truth. You know what I mean? We weak. We talk tough, but most brothers are punks. Excuse my language. I'm not talking about nobody specific. I'm just saying most of us are soft. We ain't no backbone for no truth. We know the truth when we hear the truth, and yet we won't conform to the truth. Man, we soft. Same thing with sisters. You know the truth when you hear the truth, but you won't conform to the truth. You soft. It is what it is. It is what it is. And the prophets say this is open for strong men and women. So if you can't conform to the truth, this ain't for you anyway. If you don't have enough guts, you don't have enough backbone to conform to the truth, this ain't for you anyway. How about that? It ain't for you anyway. You know what I'm saying? You want to get butt naked. You want to show yourself. You want to party all the time. You know what I mean? Why are people dying in the street? You want to roll the dice. You want to roll the blunt. You want to do all that. Man, this ain't for you. You in the way. You in the way. And I don't want to sound like no fanatic, some over-the-top revolutionary, but it's the real talk. At this point, you in the way. Gotta get out the way. We try to make something happen. See, what we try and do at the end of the day, we try and take our children to that Moorish amusement park where we see nothing but turbans and fezzes. We try to take our children to that Moorish American beach where we ain't got that smut going on. You heard? Yeah, you heard? We can't take our children to that daycare. You know what I mean? To that daycare where we can walk away and be assured that our children are being taken care of properly. That's what we try and do. You know, we try and take our children to that school. Shout out to my brother Webb Bay. Yeah. We try and take our sisters, to the level where as though we ain't got to talk about Morocco. We take our sisters to Morocco. That's right. And show in real time who we are. While the people who is occupying Morocco is right there. And we can still show who we are by what we left there. A master leaves his footprints clearly cut. So that's what this is all about. This is all about unity. Anything that I've said to offend anybody, I apologize. That's not my intentions. My intentions is to get you thinking. My intentions is to say, hold up, man. Let me find me a Moorish Science Temple of America. Let me find a Moorish brother. Let me connect with one online. Even if I'm not with it, let me try to understand it. And that's just what it is. That's just what it is. I want to say this. Shout out, honor to the Hopkins Bay family. If you're in the Philadelphia area, I'm telling you, if you have not went to temple number 11, please do yourself a favor. Google it. I don't know the address off the top of my head. I'm telling you, you will not be disappointed. And I don't care what school of thought you come from. If you believe that there's a God, regardless of what name, you will verify it when you walk through the doors of temple number 11. Shout out to Mother Love, Sister S. Hopkins Bay. When she hug you, you know it's real. There ain't no phony stuff going on. When Big T Hopkins Bay, when he breaks you and grab your hand and press your hand, you know it's real. When Isaiah, Hopkins Bay, all the Hopkins Bay brothers, when they grab you, man, you know it's real. You feel it in your soul. See, this is the uniting of Asia. We don't even got to talk about it. You start to feel it. And if you would have been blessed to be there in Philadelphia on Saturday, you would have felt the uniting of Asia. You would have known what that means. You would not get caught up in the terminology. You would know what it means to be all living things, to say all living things is bound by cords to every other living thing. You would know what it means. And I implore you to try to connect yourself with a Moorish American Muslim in a temple that teaches more signs that you may experience what that infinite bond feels like. Because see, when I see you, I definitely see me. Without a doubt or contradiction. I don't want nothing to harm you. Nothing. I don't know who I'm talking to. But see, we taught the Moorish Science Temple of America that if you love Allah, there's nothing that he created that you want to see harm done to. In short, if you love God, if you love the creator that created you, there's nothing else in the creation that you want to see harmed. How can that not be godly? How can that not be godly? It say when you look at the eyes of man, when you look at the eyes of man, you see God. How can that not be godly? When the prophet say, ye must learn to love instead of hate, how can that not be godly, people? When the prophet Noble Drew Ali say, the pure in heart must love and not the man love in return, how can that not be godly? When the prophet Noble Drew Ali said, while up making a public speech, you must not use any assertion against the American flag or speak radical against the church or any member of any organized group, because we ought to teach love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. How can that not be godly? I don't have to put you down to lift me up. How can that not be godly? Man, look, I'm going to let this roll. I'm going to let this roll. And I want you to say, thank y'all for showing up. I wasn't going to do this show, but I would have been remiss not to do this show in honor, and I know sometimes I get off track, but in honor of the Hopkins Bays family for all the work that they have done over the years. And I'm going to tell you another thing. I got to tell you this, people, family. When you truly find your calling as it relates to your spiritual growth and development, everything that your heart can desire will be handed to you on a silver platter, symbolically. Listen what I'm saying. There was a time when I used to sit up and say, man, why don't Ali's men put up more videos? Where's Azim Hopkins Bey? What, man, I'm tired of keep seeing the same video. I'm going to watch it again, though. When they going to put up A. Hopkins Bey? I go up on, where's his book? I got his book somewhere around here. He put the book out. I go up on Amazon. I get the book. When he going to do another one? This back in the day. Brother Sharif, same way. When is this brother, man, what's going on? When this brother going to do something? I keep saying, oh, man, that's my man. On and on and on. This back in the day before I met the brothers. Today, Ishmael Bey. Man, I watched these brothers throughout the years. Today, I can say that if you have a hero, whether it be Jordan, whether it be Kobe, whether it be LeBron, whether it be a rapper, I can say me, I met my heroes. I met Azim Hopkins Bey. I met Brother Sharif. I met Ishmael Bey. And I met, oh yeah, this might surprise you. I met Sinetta. And all of us are cool. All of us are brothers. I don't agree with Sinetta in a big way. But all of us are brothers. But uniquely, The prophets say that doing good, that God has instituted doing good in your character, that when you do it, goodness happens to you. In short, all of the people that I've looked up to, all of the people that I thought was a genius, Azim Hopkins Bey, Brother Sharif, Ishmael Bey, I'm good friends with them. So I'm just telling you, do what you're supposed to do and just do right because it's right. And whatever you strive for, it's going to come to you. And not only that, even more than that is going to come to you. And that's just what it is. Like your wildest dreams or imagination cannot even fathom, cannot even come up with the things that will ultimately come to you. Just doing right because it's right. You know what I mean? Just doing right because it's right. You will not have a clue how things gonna come to you. And with that, we up out of here.